Welcome to the Healthcare and Social Media Physicians Tutorial Training Site, brought to you by the Pennsylvania Academy of Family Physicians. Today we're going to talk about LinkedIn, which is very different from most public social media networks in the fact that LinkedIn is built around the privacy of its members and is meant for professionals to connect with one another. So unlike other public social networks, LinkedIn is dedicated to just the professionals in all of us. So let's get into how LinkedIn was created and what it's all about. So LinkedIn was actually founded in December of 2002 and launched in May of 2003. And like I said, it's mainly used for professional networking. So LinkedIn was one of the first social networks to offer a tiered service model. Basic accounts are free on LinkedIn and they're very powerful, but you can pay a monthly subscription rate to allow greater control of your privacy and your account viewing history. So unlike other public social media networks, with LinkedIn you can see the people who have last viewed your profile. So the atmosphere on LinkedIn is limited in the fact that it's mainly used for professional use. So as you will see on other social media networks like Facebook and LinkedIn, more of the conversation on an individual level leads to opinions and thoughts and just sharing of information that may or may not interest you at all. If you are connected with many people on Facebook, you're going to see lots of status updates and photos that really have nothing to pertain to you. Whereas LinkedIn is a little bit more discerning. You can connect with people on LinkedIn, but you have to know them in some way. So unlike Twitter, where you can just start following somebody, you have to actually start getting news information from people on there by connecting with them. So think of it as an actual ballroom at a conference, and you hear many conversations happening. And as you are mingling around the different groups of people having conversations, naturally you want to introduce yourself and start speaking with them and joining in the conversation. That's what LinkedIn is all about. The idea is networking, not just sharing information that is not important to everybody. So it's a little bit more, like I said, discerning. So here's some quick facts about LinkedIn. 79% of all LinkedIn users are 35 or older. So you can already see there's a demographic shift with LinkedIn compared to other social media networks. And at January 2013, LinkedIn was at 200 million users, and it is rising. 69% of LinkedIn users make more than $60,000 per year, and about 39% of LinkedIn users make more than $100,000 per year. How does it get this information? Well, it's based off of algorithms and data from Salary.com and other information sources based off of what your title is for your industry. So if you're a creative director at an ad agency and it balances out what your information that you've put in, it balances out what the salary information for your area is. And it's very intuitive because it's actually meant to link up for jobs. And LinkedIn is one of the great resources for medical students and residents to connect with other professionals in other hospital settings across the country. And it's also a great way to find positions if you are a company looking for someone to hire. It's a great way to find applicants, qualified applicants through LinkedIn. 98% of college graduates have at least one job interview that they applied through via LinkedIn. So when we actually go into LinkedIn, you're going to see the profile actually resembles a living resume. It's a lot more in-depth than any other public social network, and like I said, it looks like a resume in a lot of respects. So it's highly advantageous for college students to create a LinkedIn profile and use it as a way to connect with and network with professionals before they get out into the field so they have better job prospects. And for medical students and residents, it's a great way to connect with department heads and physicians out in the field that can also be a resource for them. For physicians who've been out in the field and for medical directors and people who are doing this now, who are working in healthcare on a day-to-day basis, it's a great way to connect with others that work in your field, other colleagues, and be able to share information with each other, public information with each other, in a lot more of a environment that's more conducive for that. So we go to LinkedIn for physicians. Like I said, allows physicians to connect with each other and other professionals in a more private, less distracting arena. On Facebook and on Twitter, you're probably going to see a lot of cat photos and a lot of photos and posts that really don't mean nothing to you, and plus they can be used for something very different. If you're using Facebook as a social network just to connect with friends and family, yes, that's perfect for that example. It's perfect for that use there. If you're using Facebook as a public-facing social network to connect with your community, great. LinkedIn is more for you to connect with other physicians. It's more set for the person, and it works very differently for company pages, but it's very catered to the actual professional themselves. So about companies, it allows physicians to connect with companies, schools, and media in a way that works for the physician. So you're not going to get spammed by tons of information from companies and schools and media resources that you may follow. You just denote that you're following them, and then you can easily get to their information through a couple of clicks. LinkedIn as a news source is great because it can provide information on a ton of topics. Healthcare is one of those topics in particular, because not only will you get information pulled from major media sources like the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times or the Cleveland Clinic, you're also going to get information from individual bloggers and people who write just on LinkedIn. And the last thing here is that it's a professional setting, and it's geared toward helping professionals find jobs, network with each other, and allow for more proper conversation. Unlike other social networks, you can't add more than one photo. You only have one photo, which is typically a headshot, a professional headshot, and that's it. You are not sharing tons of photos. You're not creating, albums worth of photos, and you can create status updates just like you can on other social networks, but the conversation is really geared towards professional work, not just here's what I had for breakfast today, here's what we're doing. It really depends on your industry. Every industry is different for how they speak with each other, but for healthcare, you're going to see it's a lot of resource and information sharing. So that is LinkedIn. Let's get started on how to actually create an account.